Hi everyone, welcome to Crafting with a Cocktail, where we make crafts and cocktails all in one segment. My name is Danielle and I'm super excited you're here. Today is a collab with my friend Crafting with Maria, who I will talk to you about in just a little bit, but I'll leave her channel and her collab video linked down below for you all. Now let's jump right into these beachy themed DIYs. Cheers! We are kicking it off with this beachy themed candle holder. I am a sucker for all candles and candle holders, so it's no surprise that that's what I came up with today. So I'm actually using this top lid thing from a tube that held a poster, but you could totally use the top of a mason jar or something like that. And I'm just starting by hot gluing some twine around the bottom, just so that there's an extra detail in between the seashells when you glue it all together at the end. I just thought this would add a nice little extra touch. So I'm just being very careful and wrapping around my twine 2 times. Then I'm going to hot glue this little tiny jar I got from a yogurt container, and I'm just going to hot glue it as best as I can in the center of this lid. Admittedly, I did have to reposition it off screen, so just try your best if you do end up recreating this DIY. Now I'm taking some tumbling tower blocks or Jenga blocks, these are just the ones from the Dollar Tree, and I'm reusing them from an old project that didn't work out. So they do have some scraps of like canvas glued to the inside, but that doesn't bother me at all. Of course, you can use ones that have not been used, and that works perfectly fine. If you want a permanent hold to everything here, you could use E6000 glue. I honestly was a bit skeptical of how this would turn out, so I was fine with just hot glue and then hoping it would turn out the best it possibly could. But to your discretion, whichever type of glue you want to use, whether it's E6000 or hot glue, just depending on how permanent you want this project to be. Now I'm taking out a bag of shells also from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just finding the ones that are all like a medium-ish size, and then I'm going to hot glue those down. Now these were a bit trickier to hot glue down because I couldn't really figure out the points that were touching the Jenga blocks and the lid. So after the first one or two, I kind of figured out that I can just put the glue on the outermost part, or the part that sticks out most, which is the bottom of the shell, and that part touches. And then as I go, I have to sneak some hot glue into the edges wherever it seems like it's touching those Jenga blocks. And I just go all the way around my piece, repeating this process. At first I thought they all have to line up next to each other, but then some of them end up overlapping, and it still looks good. So no big deal there. The toughest parts, like I said, was just making sure that I figured out where the glue belongs. Once you go all the way around, all you have to do is pop in a little votive candle. This is also from the Dollar Tree, comes in I believe a 4-pack, maybe a 2-pack, but that's it. I think this turned out really chic and also really beachy. This would be great for a bathroom, or maybe you have a beachy themed bedroom. Let me know what you guys think. Now let's move on to today's cocktail, which I'm going to call a cucumber basil smash. I've got cucumbers, a lemon slice, some basil, and the alcohol of your choice. Now, as long as it's a light alcohol, this recipe will go great. So gin, vodka, tequila, anything like that. I'm starting off by muddling 3 cucumber slices, 2 basil leaves, and 1 lemon slice. And I crushed the cucumber first so that the basil leaves totally didn't get destroyed. But just muddle that all together, throw in some ice, your shot of your choice, and then top it off with some Sprite, or you can do sparkling water, whatever pleases you. This turned out so good. Our next DIY is the Seashell and Tassel Garland. This is actually I think my first time making a garland, but I really love the way it turned out. I'm starting with some thick jute rope, and I kind of pre-measured a size. I end up cutting it a little bit later, but I am just using a lighter to get rid of all the little frayed threads on the edges because I didn't want it to be super fuzzy. Once I've got that done, I'm going to start making my tassels. I'm using now a thin piece of twine, and I'm wrapping it around 3 of my fingers, about 10 times or so, cutting it off. Then I'm going to slip a smaller piece at the top, tie 2 knots, and then do the same thing around the top of it to make like a little head of an octopus or something. So you'll see that here. I'm just going to take a second piece of little twine, leave a little space at the very top, and then tie that knot twice. And then just repeat that process. I ended up making, oh, and you obviously cut the bottom so that they're not looped, and then give it a little haircut, make sure it's all even. I made 6 tassels total for this garland. Then we are going to start putting our garland together. Now I am tying off with a few inches left the end of my jute cord here, and then I'm going to start gluing on some of my seashells. So I'm just putting hot glue on the very top of the seashell, and then every few inches I'm going to alternate seashell, tassel, until I hit the end. And I want the end to start the same as the beginning. So I start with the seashell and I'm going to end with a seashell. When I've got my whole piece done, I am going to just snip off a little bit of the extra and then tie a knot just like I did in the beginning, leaving a few inches at the end. Then I'm going to take that cord and just kind of unravel the pieces that are after the knot so that it's got a little bit of a fringy, tassel-y look to it as well. I think this adds a really nice touch once it's hanging on the wall. And that's about it for this project. I just use thumbtacks to hang mine up, but whatever works for you, 3M hooks or whatnot. Oh, and I'm snipping off the extra little piece of the string from the tassels as well. But that's it, easy peasy. This is my friend Maria's page, Crafting with Maria. She is an incredible crafter, and she and I collabed as part of the Latinas DIY Hop, which was really awesome, and I'm really excited to be collabing with her for these Dollar Tree DIYs today as well. Make sure you go check her out. Like I said, I'll have her linked down in the description box below. Just thought I'd pop in one last time to say if you're new here, I'm really grateful you're here, and I hope that you stay around and subscribe for lots of more fun content. It really helps my channel grow when you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, so I would love for you to stick around if you're interested. Let's jump to our last DIY. Last but not least is this super chic and beachy hair clip that I absolutely love. I think this is my favorite DIY of the 3 of them, and I thought it would be way too simple for this video, but I loved it so much I just had to do it. So I'm starting out with some glossy Mod Podge, and I'm just painting one of those Dollar Tree shells with some of that, and then I'm going in with just a little bit of gold leaf. And it's pretty, it breaks apart pretty easily, so I'm literally just tapping on a chunk and then tapping my finger all over the place, and the residue or residual, that's the word, guys, the residual gold flakes on my finger just spread all over the little seashell. So that was just my easy peasy technique to get the gold leaf on there. Once I've got it well coated the way I like, then I just put a second coat of Mod Podge on the top to really seal it. Now I'm taking this hair clip. I bought a pack of these. I can't remember if it was either at Michael's or on Amazon, but they come in a pack, and I'm just using some of that thick jute cord from earlier just to add a little bit of something underneath my shell and my flowers that I'm going to add so that it doesn't show just the metal hair clip. So I just hot glued that on there and then burnt off the extra frays just like I did in the last DIY. Now I'm just positioning my pieces. I've got these cute little leftover flowers from a bouquet of flowers from Dollar Tree, and I've got my gorgeous gold shell, and I'm just going to glue it down in place. Now originally I was going to add a flower on each side, so one blue flower on the left side, one blue flower on the right side, but I actually ended up really liking it with some of that twine showing as kind of like a little lead into the clip. I don't know, I just really liked it, but here's what it could look like with 2 if that's your thing. Otherwise, just leave it as is like I did. I love how this one turned out, even though it was so simple. It's seriously so cute. I hope you enjoyed these Dollar Tree DIYs and beachy DIYs, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.